Okay, so in this explainer, we're going to do something kind of interesting. We're going to connect the dots between a few things that might not seem related at all. That feeling of stress you have every day, the urgent race to learn new skills at work, and the huge geopolitical forces that are reshaping our world. You're about to see how your personal stress, your career path, and global politics are all, believe it or not, part of the exact same story. Let's dive in.
So, where does this all start? Well, it begins with this number, 58%. According to Euromonitor International, that's how many of us feel moderate to extreme stress, like every single day. And this isn't just a personal feeling, it's a global condition, and it's driving some of the biggest trends we're going to see heading into 2026.
So that brings up a huge question, right? When the world feels this complicated, this overwhelming, what do we do? What's our natural human response? Where do we even turn?
Well, the answer is we pull back. We retreat. We're apparently entering what some are calling the comfort zone. In the face of all this global craziness, we're actively looking for simplicity, for emotional reassurance, and for products that just, well, make life a little easier and more balanced.
And you can kind of see what that looks like right here. It's not really about hiding from the world. It's more about taking control of our own little worlds. It's part of a trend called fiercely unfiltered, where people are pushing back against complexity by just embracing their unique, authentic selves. In fact, half of all consumers now say they want products that reflect who they really are.
Okay, so that's our personal lives. Now let's switch gears and see how this whole desire for control spills over into our work lives. Because that same feeling, it's fueling this absolutely wild race for new skills, especially around the biggest disruptor of them all, artificial intelligence.
And the big goal here, it's not just about learning how to use some new app. The Udemy 2026 Skills Report has a great name for it, AI Fluency. Think of it like a whole new operating system for how we work. It means really understanding not just what AI can do, but its limits, its risks, and how to use it responsibly.
And the demand for this fluency, wow, it is just explosive. I mean, look at these numbers. Year-over-year growth, a 3,400% increase in learning about AI agents. Those are AIs that can actually do tasks on their own. And then, get this, an almost unbelievable 13,534% jump for GitHub Copilot, which helps developers write code. This isn't just a trend, it's a frantic scramble by employees to stay relevant.
So companies are trying to make sense of all this chaos, right? They're trying to structure it. And they're basically thinking about AI fluency in 3 stages. First, you augment your work with just basic AI literacy. Then, you learn to assist and automate specific tasks. And the final frontier? Agentify, where these autonomous AI systems start to rework entire business operations from the ground up.
But, and this is where our story takes a really fascinating turn. While all of us as individuals are racing to master all this complexity, the big institutions, corporations, governments, they're doing the exact opposite. They're hitting the brakes and actually pushing for simplification. And I'm not just talking about some vague idea. This is an official strategy. The 2024 Budapest Declaration from EU leaders actually calls for a simplification revolution to cut down on all the administrative and reporting burdens that companies have to deal with.
And you can see this happening in real time. For example, the EU has proposed a 2-year delay for its super complex corporate sustainability reporting directive. They're literally giving companies breathing room, postponing the very kind of complicated, data-heavy work that AI is supposed to be perfect for.
Okay, so this brings us right to the central paradox of this whole thing. On one hand, you've got this frantic, bottom-up rush from all of us, from employees, to learn these complex new AI skills. And on the other hand, you have this top-down push from regulators to simplify everything and delay the hard stuff. These two forces are moving in completely opposite directions.
And all of this is happening against a backdrop that's getting more and more chaotic and unstable. To really get what's going on in 2026, we have to zoom out one last time, all the way up to geopolitics.
This quote from Insight Forward's 2026 Outlook, it just says it all. For decades, businesses could kind of treat global politics like, background noise. That time is completely over. Now it directly impacts supply chains, market access, a company's bottom line. And the list of risks? It's pretty daunting. We're moving into a world of what they call transactional politics, where all the alliances just aren't stable anymore. We're facing huge global debt and countries using industrial policy as a weapon. And hey, notice that even bias in generative AI makes the list.
which just goes to show how technology and politics are now totally tangled up.
Let's just take one of these, techno-nationalism, and break it down. Basically, it's this idea of countries walling off their digital worlds, creating these closed ecosystems to protect their power. For global companies, it's a nightmare. They're forced to deal with a mess of conflicting tech standards, data laws, and AI rules. It's the ultimate complexifier.
So here it is. This is the central conflict of our time, laid bare. On one side, you have this deep, deep human need for simplicity, for comfort, for control. And on the other side, you have the global reality of spiraling complexity, risk, and fragmentation. And we're all just stuck right in the middle.
So, what's the answer? What is the one skill, the one true north for navigating this completely contradictory world? It's not just about learning AI. It's something much, much deeper.
And here it is. This is the ultimate takeaway. The real goal isn't just getting fluent in AI. I mean, AI is just this year's massive disruption. The real, lasting competitive advantage is building the ability, both for yourself and for your organization, to adapt to whatever comes next. It's about building a muscle for change.
And the data totally backs this up. Look at this. As AI tools get better and better at doing the routine stuff, the demand for what are uniquely human, adaptive skills is just soaring. A 38% jump in demand for decision-making skills, 37% for critical thinking. These are the skills that let us guide the tech, question what it tells us, and navigate all this uncertainty. This quote from the Udemy report, it just perfectly captures this whole journey. Technologies will come and go. Platforms will rise and fall. But that ability to learn, to unlearn, and then to relearn, to adapt, that's the one skill that will always be valuable.
Which, leaves us with one final thought. We know for a fact that AI is not going to be the last major disruption. The next one's already on its way. So the real question for you, for your team, for your entire organization is pretty simple. How are you going to adapt?